Okay, guys, I had to stop the last video because it froze and I wasn't certain as to whether or not it was going. Anyway, as I was saying, I know you guys probably have been wondering where the heck I've been. And in a nutshell, my nephew was murdered. And there are a very few of you who keep in touch with me who already know that. And he had just turned 29. Actually, he had been 29 for 30 days before he was murdered. The day he was buried slash his funeral, um, the surgery was done on my mom's knee. So it's been just a very difficult 2020. It's almost gone. Damn it. It's almost gone. And it's just really been something, guys, as you know. And the odd thing is that when everyone was saying that 2020 was so horrible and it was this and it was that, the pandemic was going on. But for me personally, I didn't have any, immediate issues that were just like outlandish. I told you guys my godbrother had passed away, you know, uh, due to COVID, which was earlier on in the year. And at that particular time, I still wasn't attributing negativity to the year. Uh, and then when my nephew passed, I'm like, okay, this is it. So the first thing I want to do before I even get started is light a little sage for us all. And always remember when you light away from you. Okay. So this is just a little sage. Most of this stuff you guys already know about. Don't ever blow the candle out. Don't blow it out. Just wave it out. Now it's lit, and this is a good piece of sage. I don't want to leave it lit too long because of obvious reasons. I don't want my smoke detector to go off. So I'm going to just do that in a little mason jar, you know, and get it around me because this is such an important topic that I'm about to go into. It's extremely important because it is the winter solstice. Okay. Now, see, let me tell you what's the thing about the winter solstice that's so different from everything else. Any other time of the year that there's a solstice or equinox or whatever it might be, there might be a little something for you to do ritualistically. And then you do it, and then you reap the benefit of what you do. But it's different with the winter solstice because this is mandatory for you to have good tidings, literally, for the rest of the year. Okay? Now, here's the thing uh, King Janus, changed the calendar. Okay? And when he changed the calendar, he made January the beginning of the year rather than what was supposed to be the beginning of the year, which is April during the springtime. That's why Aries is first in the zodiac. Then Pope Gregory came and changed the calendar or tweaked it yet again. And when Pope Gregory did that, that gave us what's called the Gregorian year. Okay. Now here's the thing. The reason why they do all this tweaking and changing and moving is so that we don't know what's really going on. Okay? So I'm going to tell you what's really going on. Okay, here's the thing. The most ritualistic, Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, demonic, whatever thing that they've got going on throughout the year happens during the winter solstice. Not even the autumn equinox has anything on this time of the year. Okay, when you got your Halloween and the harvest, nothing on this time of the year. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why is because of homonyms. You know, when you take more than one word and it sounds the same but it's spelled differently or has a different meaning. So this is what they do. They deflect and or deter your thinking. Okay? So what they do is think about it. You've got Hanukkah during this time of the year. You've got Christmas. In fact, sometimes they fall on the same day. Very rarely, but sometimes they do, although it's rare. You've got Kwanzaa, okay? You've got all the Hindu, all these different types of religions that fall on this time of the year. They are not all worshiping the birth of what they call the Christ or the anointed, but something's going on during that time of the year. This time of the year. I'm going to tell you why. The reason why they gave Christians Christmas was to deter you from knowing what's going on. Okay. You've got red and green for Christmas. You've got blue and white for Hanukkah. Okay. Now let's just say that they said, okay, we're going to do our thing during the winter solstice and not tell all the unknowing people anything and let's just do our thing. You know what would happen? We would say, wonder what they're doing. And we'd start to look and investigate. So what they did is they gave us Christmas while they kept winter solstice so that we wouldn't wonder what they're doing. So when you see them with their red and green, which is a representation of the color for love and money, which is what most people want throughout the year, and with Jews, they have the blue and white. Blue is representative of consciousness and uh, consciousness, and blue and purple are for royalty. And with the white, it's open because that basically can do anything you want it to do with white. So that's what they did. They said, we're going to give them Christmas. We're going to give them the Son of God, SON, while we go over here and make sure that the SUN gives us what we want for the rest of the year. Okay? And they figured that we wouldn't wonder what they were doing with their celebration because we would be celebrating Christmas while they're over there celebrating something else. Now, every solstice and equinox has a tradition, a thing that needs to be done throughout the year. And this is what it is. Okay. In Christianity, it is said that the Son of God died and rose from the dead in 3 days. Where does that come from? Now, that happens during the spring equinox, the dying and the rising of their Messiah. Okay? But in order for one to die, one has to be born first. Okay? So this is what happens. They say that the Son of God died and rose on the third day. They can lie to you, but they can't deceive you. So when they say that the SON died and rose on the third day, that's not a lie. That's the truth. But the truth really is that the SUN dies and rises on the third day. Okay, because during the winter solstice, it is the shortest day of the year. The sun only stays out for about 10 hours. Okay, what does that have to do with us? You have to fast. Okay? You have to fast for 3 days. Okay? What days are those? You have to fast during the time that the sun is dead. The sun dies for 3 days. It dies during the winter solstice. Okay? Now, I've explained to you that the new day begins every time there's a new day, it begins at sunset. But during the winter solstice, you go by when you're going and using the sun, you use or you go by midnight. Okay, here we go. So, midnight is the gauge. So, we would say midnight the fast starts on the 21st. The 21st, okay? But on the 21st at midnight, 1 billionth of a second after midnight is the 22nd, okay? So, because 1 billionth of a second after midnight, that's when you begin to count. So you can eat all day the 21st. But midnight is when the fast begins, which is the 22nd. Okay. The 22nd will technically already have started because sunset is already past. But that has nothing to do with the sun. But if you want to be on the safe side, you can stop eating at sunset. So here we go. So the fast starts at midnight, actually midnight the 22nd. Yeah, midnight the 22nd. Midnight, but I'm trying not to confuse you because midnight the 22nd is the 21st going into midnight. So if it's the 21st, because it's December 21st, when midnight comes, 1 billionth of a second, boom, it's the 22nd. Okay? So as we count, midnight the 20, so the sun dies for 3 days, right? Okay, so the 21st goes into midnight, bam, it's the 22nd. Okay, we count 3 days. Midnight the 23rd, midnight the 24th, midnight the 25th. So the fast would end midnight the 21 billionth of a second on the 24th, going into the 25th. Because 1 billionth of a second after midnight the 24th is the 25th at midnight. Okay? So midnight the 22nd, midnight the 23rd, midnight the 24th, boom, is what they call Christmas. The sun is risen. The sun is born. Okay? The sun, sun, is born because it died. It dies on the 22nd at midnight. So because the sun dies for 3 days, not the son, but the sun dies for 3 days, midnight the 22nd, midnight the 23rd, midnight the 24th, midnight the 24th is what? Boom. 1 billionth of a second after that is the 25th, which they call Christmas or Jesus' birthday or the Son of God's birthday. Okay? Now, what's the ritual? I'm going to tell you what the ritual is, and then we're going to go back. The ritual is that you fast. The reason why people eat like they do on the 25th is because they've been fasting for 3 days. Not because of the fact that it's Christmas, but because they fasted for 3 days and it's a celebration. Okay? That's the reason why, if you get into the Native American culture, you'll find out that Thanksgiving, the day that you eat on that Thursday, is because prior to that is a fast day. Okay? So then Thanksgiving is a feast day. But they don't tell you that because they don't want you fasting. Why do you need to fast? I'm going to tell you. The reason why you need to fast is because the less food, the more food you eat. I don't care what day it is. The more food you eat, the harder your body has to work. Period. Okay. The less food that's in your body, the more room there is for the oil to come into your body. What oil? There is a natural oil that comes from the universe one time a year, and that happens during the winter solstice. What is this oil for? What does it do? What does it represent? This oil is a gift from the universe that lasts you for an entire year. Well, how does it know what to do, what to bring, what to do? It knows what to bring, what to do because you tell it. That goes back to the gifts that, or toys that kids get, that gifts that people get. That's the gift from the universe to you. And during the time that you're fasting, you're telling the universe what it is that you want. And it brings it to you and makes certain that you get it throughout the year. If you eat during that time, you'll get some of the oil, but you won't get it to its full. Okay? Now, you guys heard the song, what is it, the 12 days of Christmas, or however many days of Christmas it is. Between that day and the new year, yeah, the 12 days of Christmas, there's another ritual that needs to take place. But I'll do that in a separate video. Okay? Now, where does that oil go into? The same way when you hear about the story of Santa Claus comes down the chimney and brings gifts to the kids, the children, people, whomever. Okay. All over the planet. I don't care who you are, what your culture is, what your name is, what it is. Every single person on the planet has a mother. And everyone's mother knows about the soft spot at the top of your head. Okay? That soft spot, over a period of time, starts to become a lot more solid / less sensitive. But no matter how old you get, three things happen or never happen. One, no matter how old you get, during the winter solstice, when it's cold and it's time for that oil to come, it goes back to being just as equally as sensitive as it was when you were a baby. Why? Because that oil needs to be able to get down in there to give you good life, long life, a healthy life. It's a healing oil. It brings money, it brings wealth, it brings all these things. But you have to know about it in order to entreat the universe about it. That's why they keep it a secret and tell you some other old bullshit about SON and his birthday. Like, what are you even talking about? Okay? So it becomes sensitive. The layer up there becomes as sensitive as it was when you were a baby. The next thing is mothers don't even know how they know it. It's just an innate piece of information. Okay? The third thing is when you are a baby, you often see mothers holding their babies and they're rocking them. And when they rock their babies, the crown of their heads, where that soft spot is right near their nose because they're holding and rocking their baby. They can smell it. Mothers can smell it. They know what the crown of their baby's head smells like. That smell never, ever changes. It always smells the same. Every mother knows it. With each one of her children, she knows what it is. Okay? Now, there's going to be another cycle that's going to take place during the new year. Now, I know you guys already know about black eyed peas on the new year. And then there's chitlins and hoghead cheese and gumbo that has ham in it and all these different types of foods that people generally only make during the new year. And if you think about it, the type of foods that people usually don't eat during the year that they eat then is pork. Why? Pork, one time a year, which is the new year, brings good fortune. And again, I'll explain that to you at a later date when it's almost time for the new year, and why they eat black eyed peas and what it does and why you don't eat chicken during that time of year. It's not good to do that. It's just not something that you do. Okay. Now, the next thing is that Santa is what's known to be the one, or it's jolly old Saint Nick. Saint in Spanish or Latin means Santa or Saint. Santa. Santa comes and brings the oil into your head and brings it down. Why do they call it that? Because in Latin, the soft spot is called the Santa. And again, that's saint or Christos or pure. Okay, so that's the reason why Santa has the name that it has. Santa has the name that it has. Okay. The next piece of information that I wanted you to have, other than that, is about the oil that I explained, the gifts, the winter solstice, the sun dies, that you have to fast, how to eat, what happens during Hanukkah, that it's deterrent with the food and other holidays. And the reason why they call it holidays is because of the Santa and the oil and all of that. That it's a holy oil. It's a holy time. Okay. It's a holy day when the oil goes into the Santa part of your head. Okay. But if they called it that, it would make people stop and say, what's up with that? Why is it a holy day? And people would begin to research. So they played the name game with you, and instead of calling it the holy day that it is, they call it holly or holidays. The holidays, happy holidays. It's not holly, it's holy. They play all kinds of games, all manner of games they play. Okay, you guys don't know what kind of chances I'm taking telling you what I'm telling you. So again, there's even ritualistic types of food that I'll tell you about, but those ritualistic foods are not to be eaten now necessarily. Hey, Chas, but they're to be eaten before the end of the 12 days of Christmas, which is the New Year. Okay? Let's see. Please understand, I'm going off course a little bit. COVID-19 is not a trick. It actually exists. It does. Because I explained it to you guys at the beginning of this happening with the 5G. And I told you that Trump was going to try to declare martial law to stay in office. And he's doing all these things that I told you that he would do. So just stay tuned, guys, to see what's going to happen. I have to make sure that I look after my safety. So I have to be mindful of what I divulge versus what I don't divulge. Okay? because they're coming up with all these quasi immunizations that I told you guys do not take these immunizations. This shit is off the chain with the things that they're doing, you know, with this COVID-19. But it got out of hand. It was done arbitrarily. It's gotten out of hand. They don't know what they're going to do with it. But I explained to you that they never ever release a disease without having the cure first. Trust me when I tell you that. Okay? Now, one thing that I want you to understand, and that is the universal cure for almost anything, which is steam. Steam. If you don't get anything else during this holiday, try and get one of those steam vats. You can either get the Vicks kind, but just to stay safe, just to make sure it's just steam, there's a lot of beauty. Steam is an old beauty remedy. They have these there's this maker called Conair who makes hair dryers and blow dryers and things like that. And they different. It doesn't have to be that particular brand, but they have these steam things that you put your face in them that ladies use, and it brings forth the youth and vitality in their face, and it opens up and then closes pores tightly because heat expands and cool extracts, and it gets all the impurities out. So whatever type of nastiness that you get when you go outside or that you may have contracted in your pores, because they're telling us to wear masks, and some people are wearing the surgical gloves, but what about the pores in your skin where you can, absorb things? What about that? You know what I mean? And some people are wearing suits. I can't think what you call those suits, but anyway, it's a good idea to flush yourself. Um, as a people, brown people, we're very hygienically sound. We bathe more than the average people do. So, you know how some people sometimes, men, I guess. I mean, not to throw you guys under the bus, but might say, okay, they can let bathing slide, and they typically might be letting bathing slide more than normal because the fact that it is quarantine and people are in the house. Never let bathing slide ever. And because you're at home, take more baths. Okay, don't shower. Bathe more. And if you're just that lazy, shower once and bathe twice. You're at home anyway. Bathe your babies. Hell, bathe with your man, your husband, your wife, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? So as to keep things the way they need to be, you know. Let me see. Yeah, so I just really wanted to touch bases with you guys because I hadn't in a while, and I wanted you to understand why, you know. And there was a commercial. I sure hate to not show y'all this commercial because you guys know I don't tell you anything. I show you everything. You know, I show you everything. Hold on a second. Barb, bring me your phone. Your cell phone. Um, yeah, give me just a minute and I'm gonna show you guys this commercial. Bring me your cell phone! Look for it. So anyway, there's this commercial where y'all ain't gonna believe this. I guess I'm gonna tell you what I think their gist is in this commercial. And then I'll go to, okay, just follow with me. There is this dating site, I guess, called Match MATCH, Match.com. Okay, stay with me, y'all. Match.com. And if anybody happened to see this commercial, please hit me in the comments so I can see. So anyway, in Match.com, there's this commercial where the background is red. That's like the backdrop is red. It has a red kind of a aura in the picture. So you see what looks like an inferno, a fire. And one second, guys. And within this inferno of fire, you see a red being. My God. You don't hear that? You see a red being. And it has black horns. And it's sitting down in what I guess is supposed to be hell. And it picks up the phone. It's not funny. It's really not. It picks up the phone and it sees that it has a match. One match. And I guess that's how Match.com works. So the chick, white chick of course, notices that she has a hit on Match.com. And when she notices she has the hit, wow, she gets to wherever the dating site is for this dude that's red, literally red, with black horns, and they're having a picnic. She's feeding him red chili peppers, but before that, she looks at him and she says, "Oh, Satan, how are you?" And she looks like a regular old white woman. Okay? So I'm going to show y'all the commercial because I recorded it off TV. And then after I show it to you, I'm going to break it down because you might not be able to see it. Let's see. Okay. Okay, y'all. No. Pay attention to this, y'all. I'm trying to make it a little bigger. Wait, let me rewind some. Hold on. Pay attention now, y'all. I'm going to try to turn it this way to see. It might not do it.
584-4466. Call me 2020.
Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time, and then I'm gonna narrate, stop, and go. Now watch this. Satan is sitting in hell, and he has one match, which is this chick. Okay, and when she sees him, she says Satan, and then he says 320 or something like that. He calls her, and then she says, "Just call me 2020." Okay, so when she calls him, "Hey, Satan," he says, "So and so," and I think he said 320, and she said, "Just call me 2020," meaning the year. Okay, because it's been, things have been so bad in 2020. So he's evil and she's evil. So now watch this.
584-4466.
That's hell. That's Satan. That's the match. She said, Satan?
2020. Call me 2020.
Okay. He just called her 2020 and she said, just call me 2020. Okay? Okay. Now, you're going to hear the little match. Ding. Look how that damn thing looks. Y'all see that? Okay, let me play it. That's the match.
Satan. 2020. Call me 2020.
She said, call me 2020. Look, she.
Call me 2020.
Okay, they're supposed to be having fun, her and Satan. So she runs into the bathroom and steals all the toilet paper. Okay, then they go into a gym and start to work out, and it says all equipment is closed or whatever. They put that sign up so they can have all the time they want to work out and stay in shape. Then the next thing you know, they're having me time in a video in a movie theater with nobody in there with them. Why? Because all of us are at home quarantined. Okay, so it makes you wonder what the hell were the damn nations doing while we were all in quarantine, right? So to watch this now. Still in toilet paper. He said something about the year ended. Hold on, what did he say? He said something to the effect that he just doesn't want the year to end. He doesn't want 2020 to end. I'm going to show you one more time.
4466. Satan. 2020. Call me 2020.
She's feeding him chili peppers. He said, I just don't want this year to end. Match.com. I guess the gist of Match.com is that there's somebody for everybody. But you just don't go, you can go too far, you know. Now, what that's really supposed to mean, I don't know. But I know it's more than just that. Well, y'all, I hope you guys' fast are going well. Yeah, I hope your fasts are going well. Know that I care about you a lot. And I'll be back to let you know how to seal the year to make sure that everything that you want is sealed. Because, see, once the oil goes in to your Santa, it can come out. So there's a way that you seal it before the new year. Okay? And I'll be back to tell you how to do that. Love you so much. I really do, guys. Okay? Be well.